Hi, I'm Michael Smith for Nevada Trails. So I have a very special show. I have Pat Freed from Great Basin Sports. And Pat and I were just at the aquatic trail yesterday, and I was scared for you. I didn't think there'd be any white water there. There was big waves, big white water. So from the point we were at is the, level 3 waves? What do you call it? Not waves, rapids.
Right, class 3.
Yeah, so before I had seen it for myself and the pictures and things you'll see later, or part of it's going behind us, I thought you get any old raft, but you need to have a professional guide from that stretch of the trail. Is that trailhead called, what's it called?
It's the Morgan Mill trailhead.
Because there, from Morgan Mill down below, you need to have you.
Correct.
Yeah, you had the proper safety gear, and it was very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, then but if you want to do the family and the quiet stuff, where do you get on there?
You would put in at Carson River Park, and there's a 3.9-mile stretch of river that you can get down. It's a class 1, just a nice float, beautiful cottonwood canyons or trails in there, trees, great for birding, great for picnicking.
Well, it was a great place. We took, 50 to, Deer Run, and then you take a right on Mills.
Morgan Mill.
Morgan Mill. And they had picnic tables, they had a porta potty, which I thought was good. And then a walking trail you can go for year-round. And then they had a landing. You could just back up their stuff and you know, whatever. And it was very, very well done. And Bern Cron was there from the Parks and Rec. And it was just a beautiful day we had. And then when they said, well, let's see, because right there was mellow water, but it was still moving pretty fast, but it was not white.
Right.
Well, then you took us to the spot that was white, and I went, I don't know if I want her to do this. She might get hurt on my TV show.
Oh, it's fun.
Well, we need the ratings. But you'll be seeing some of the pictures go by behind us, as well as a lot of her other activities, which you're into so much. I don't know how you even exhale. You're like,
Just trying to keep on top of things here, but it's a passion.
Well, it's definitely a passion because you're on the aquatic trail, and that will end probably early June or early July, I mean.
Right.
And they can call you probably and let you know, you'll let them know if it's still happening for that trail.
Correct.
Okay, and what's your phone number?
It's 775-450-3446.
Because we don't know exactly, the weather dictates how long that trail lasts, but right now I would definitely recommend it because if you are into adrenaline, you'll get your adrenaline on this trail because that particular part of the trail, how long does that trail last?
It's 9.6 miles, and it's up to Mother Nature here. It all depends how quickly she melts the snow, and I definitely see 2 to 3 more weeks in there.
Well, I'd call Pat to get her as a guide because she was telling me that she had some people behind her without a guide, and they fell out of the boat or fell out of the raft.
Correct.
So I would not want to be in the water.
At these flows, it went up to about 4,000 CFS on the Carson River this year. And
CFS,
cubic feet per second.
Cubic feet per second is 4,000?
Yeah, 4,000. So it was booking really good and a great ride, but I highly, highly recommend that you go with a guide. You need to know how to get through these rapids. They're dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. So.
Well, dangerous is one word, but the other word was fun.
Oh, they're a blast.
You couldn't wait to get in the water. You're like, hey, we don't have a demo here. We want a demo on the white stuff. I'm like, well, we got the footage. You're like, no, this footage is better.
Yeah, it was a beautiful run. It's a lot of fun, adrenaline for sure, going down the rapids.
And you had your beautiful daughters are your assistants?
Yes, they are.
And you had another young man that was your helper?
Yes, that's right.
So you were like, you have your team, your aqua team.
Yeah, my aqua team. They're a great help.
Well, you're going to be doing that trail to, like I said, probably mid-July or whatever nature does. And then you do the East Fork Carson River.
I do.
Now, what does that entail? Is that safer?
The East Fork is a Class 2+, whereas this lower stretch has a Class 3 rapid, which is a bigger rapid, bigger water.
Isn't scary.
Well, maybe for you. Adrenaline is the way I look at it. But the upper section is a 20-mile float. It goes from Markleyville to Gardnerville. There's hot springs in the middle that we soak at, and great run.
So it's 2+. That's still pretty fast.
Yeah, at this flow, with these flows, it's definitely, once again, you don't want to get in with a boat and just think you can make it down the river. You should have a guided trip.
Well, I agree. After seeing you in action, you're very good.
Thank you.
And on the aquatic trail, you had a lot of safety stuff on. Do you do the same thing for the Carson or the East Fork Carson River?
Yes, I do.
Because you had like a wetsuit on too.
I do. In the colder temperatures, when you get the temperature of the water is about 40 degrees. And when I started this back in April, when it did start to flow, the temperature somewhere was 40 to 50 degrees. So in order to avoid hypothermia, you do want to be in a wetsuit just in case you happen to end up in the water. And I do include those in my prices. I've got neoprene wetsuits and neoprene shoes and socks and
You have one of
gloves
my
and
size?
hats. Oh, absolutely. I have all kinds of sizes.
I
So,
can, like, the boat will be like this.
Oh.
We'll be surfing.
oh, it's all good.
Okay. Well, I'm losing some weight, so
All right.
no more a Buddha belly. I'm more of the Lucky Charm guy.
All right.
Well, that sounds good. I really didn't think you could provide that much stuff.
Yeah, I do. I want to make sure customers are, going to be healthy and happy and stay warm. So, and for rafting trips at this point, I have splash pants, splash jackets, and so that keeps you pretty warm when you're going down the
Well,
water.
as far as your season, when do you start? When do you stop? And
Usually it's all determined by snow melt. I did do some trips in April this year, and they were, it's been a crazy year with weather. It'd warm up and the water would start flowing and then it'd snow again. So it was just a crazy year. But that's why we have the water left and it's June. So.
well, didn't you do Eagles and Ag? And that was kind of cold out then. What month was that? February?
That was the end of February, and that's a trip that I do, and it's a great time of year because the valley cows are birthing, and the bald eagles come in to eat the afterbirth, and then they will perch up in the cottonwoods along the river and digest. So I do about a 4-mile stretch of river in there, and a lot of times I'll see 20 bald eagles sitting in the trees where I go with my raft. So it's a great trip.
I was told that I can't go or bring my camera because I'll get wet. So people have been telling me that crap for about 4 or 5 years. So I went to the store and I got me something that's waterproof. And it can be, I can drop it, or if I drop it, it'll be
Nice.
attached to my hand. Casio, I can drop it in 10 foot of water. It's shockproof, waveproof. It's going to be, I'm going to take this on your trip.
Perfect.
Eagles and Ag, it's going in February.
All right, sounds good. And I also provide dry bags for people that want to bring their cameras or binoculars. So don't be afraid to not bring your cameras when we do that trip.
See, that's the information I didn't get.
All right, well,
But this
now
one's
you know.
waterproof, so because I want to take some good pictures of your stuff. Because the more when you're out there, you can really tell the story a little bit easier.
Right.
You provided great pictures, and I helped with my little shooting yesterday. But it's just a lot more fun.
All right.
And as a nature or a photographer myself, it just adds to it. And I found that the Eagles and Ag Tour previously that more women are photographers now than men. And this digital age is just helping everybody take more pictures.
Oh, it is.
Well, I know you do that, and then I first met you at Sand Harbor at the Head Injury Alliance picnic, and you're still active in that too.
Yes, I am. I'm up at Sand Harbor by reservation only. You need to call night before at the earliest and let me know how many boats you'd like, and I will take them up to Sand Harbor, set you up with water, sunscreen, instruction, and you can take the boats out for the day. I also do guided tours if you would like, and or rentals.
Well, you took my girlfriend and I out, and I was scared to death, and you were very calming, and you got us the safety vest. It was, you really make us do safety. And we got in the water, and the water is so clear. I don't have a clue how deep that was.
Oh, you can see down 75 feet at Sand Harbor. Sand Harbor has beautiful boulder fields that you can go through, private beaches you can go to, little harbors, a gorgeous place.
It was awesome. I can't wait to go back there. So that one, you just give you a call, and you can meet you.
Right.
Because every time I go by there for meetings, I see your van, and I go, oh. I want to stop and why do I have to go do this job? So everybody quit your job and go to Sand Harbor, but call her first so she can be there. It's worth it.
Right.
It's how
It
Michael
has to
said
be
it.
by reservation. I can't do any rentals. Once I'm there, you have to call me in advance.
Well,
to
right now you have
make a
both the
reservation.
Aquatic Trail and Sand Harbor probably at the same time.
Right.
Then you have overnight camping overnight camping trips?
Yes, I do. On the East Fort Carson, it is a 20-mile trip down the river, and I do overnight customize whatever you guys would like. I mean, I can do anything from steak and lobster to if you are looking more for an economic trip, you can bring your own food, and I can just be your taxi that takes you down. So anywhere in between, I will customize for you.
Well, do you have a certain deli or some place that makes all this food for you, or you make it yourself?
I do. Swarnson's will make my food, and it just depends what kind of food you want on your trip as to where.
Swarnson's?
Yeah, Swarnson's.
That's a nice place.
It is, very nice. And it just depends what kind of food you want as to which deli or food service I would use.
So you put in around Markleyville someplace in there?
I do. We put in at Hangman's Bridge.
Hangman?
Hangman's, yes.
That's a nice name.
It is.
Sweet, cuddly, relaxing area.
Yeah, well.
Let's go down to Hangman, dear.
Great place, and that's where we put in, and overnight trips we can leave on the half day, don't have to get such an early start, and camp out somewhere, not at the hot springs, but somewhere close that you can have hot spring access, and stargazing is absolutely gorgeous out there, and so it's a lot of fun.
So that one you should bring
People
your
love it.
telescope.
Absolutely.
Do you have like a raft for equipment too? For all
I
these
do.
tents?
I have a gear boat that I would take down.
Wow.
And so I can supply tents and sleeping bags and pads that you sleep on, and I've got all the kitchen gear also. So.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So Sorensen's makes your lobster. That's.
Well, I don't know about lobster. It depends what people want as to what kind of food I take. But
Well, that's a real pretty area for hiking too.
yeah, it is.
How long have you been doing that?
I've owned the business for 5 years, and I have actually been on rivers all my life, basically. So
In this region?
not so much here. Maybe the past 15 years in this area. I have been in Massachusetts, and
That's where my sister was born, in Springfield.
yeah, that's about the same place.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I was in rafting in the Chattahoochee in Georgia. That's where we started. Just loved it. We had our own raft, and you just pull something, and the whole thing blows up. And it was just Chattahoochee was so mellow. And the first time we did it, though, there was like a small dam, just big enough to make us wreck in the raft. And someone stopped us, and we got out there. But that's always nice. And then I was also down in Coloma, down the American River. And they had T-shirts that said "Shut up and paddle." I always thought, boy, that's just aggressive PR marketing for your tourist base. Just shut up and paddle. So at a certain point, does this get long, and do you just want people to quietly and take care for safety, or is it more just?
I usually do interpretive tours, give a lot of the history, geology, flora, fauna, and educate people. I also do type of trips where we stop and we can do water monitoring, study macroinvertebrates. I've done a lot of school programs that involve that type of studies.
What kind of vertebrates are you talking about?
Well, you can tell the health of the water by the bugs that live in it. And so, if you are to go and tip over the rocks and study the bugs that are there are certain bugs that can live in certain water. So
Well, that's
it's
exciting.
a very good indicator of how clean the water is.
So if you're a fly fisherman, they should definitely give you a call.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because if the bugs in that particular area are active, that's what they'll be hitting on.
Right, and I do a fisherman's taxi. I don't do a whole lot of fishing myself, but and I don't have a lot of fishing knowledge. But what I can do is take fishermen down the rivers or to their local hot spots, rivers or lakes that they like to go to, and I'll do all the paddling, and they can sit there and do all their fishing and. Anyway, something that I do
Well,
offer.
that boat was really beautiful. You're in the back in control, and they can do anything that they want up front.
Right.
It's pretty stable.
Yeah, it is. I have an inflatable canoe that I use. It's 15 feet long, so very spacious, and I have an oar frame on it, so I can do all the oaring while they're doing the fishing. So.
Well, I've seen you oar. You're good at it.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Pat, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to hear more about the Great Basin Sports.
All right.
We'll
Thank
be right
you.
back. Thank you.
What lies beyond the curve in the trail? What secrets are there? My feet carry me into its veiled mystery. and I want to taste the sweet air and hear the song bestowed by nature. Just this once. Until the next curve, the next trail, the next walk through the Carson Valley. The Genoa Foothill Trail System will connect the Carson Valley with the Tahoe Rim Trail, providing a wonderful trail system near the oldest town in Nevada. This is just one of many projects the Carson Valley Trails Association is working on for our communities, but we cannot do it alone. Please contact us by visiting our website and find out about becoming a member or signing up to help build our community trails. We're looking forward to seeing you out in the most beautiful land Nevada has to offer.
Hi, we're back with Pat Freed for the Great Basin Sports, and I just want to backtrack and talk about the Carson Aquatic Trail. When I was there, I was given Vern gave me a map, and hopefully we can see it on the screen. And this map is, well, it says "and safe boating guide," and it's really true, but it's also waterproof, but it'll tell you everything you need to know. And we'll try to put a website available so you can look at the map and get some help. And where would you get a copy of this, by the way?
You could go to Carson City Parks and Recreation, go to their website, and there's a downloadable map that you can receive
It
from
won't be
them.
waterproof.
It won't be waterproof. You're right.
I want it waterproof.
But
I got one.
yeah, I do have some maps also that I give to my customers that go out, and they also are available at Parks and Recreation.
Sounds good. So if I gave you a call and said I need a map, or when you pick them up, you can give them a map for their package.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what is the flow? If I call you up and say I want to do the aquatic trail with my family, and then also do the whole thing. I mean, from quiet, mellow to rough and tumble. You pick me up at a certain point, and where's my car going to end up?
Okay, I actually do two different runs. I would do the Eagle Valley float, which is going to be the Class 1. And with the Eagle Valley, at this flow, I think I'd wait for it to come down a little bit more, but I would I have rentals with my hard shell sit-on-top kayaks.
Your hard shell?
My hard shell sit-on-top. So they're easy to get in and out of. You never get in a position where you have to bail a boat out. Be very safe. I do guided trips down there also, or you could rent kayaks from me and put them in and take them out at Morgan Mill. You would never want to go past Morgan Mill in a hard shell sit on top because then you are going to run into the Class 3 rapids and it would be not safe. So you want to make sure to take out at the correct place.
Well, I took pictures of signs by the river saying Class 3. It was kind of like the Wizard of Oz when you say, "Don't go back here if I was you."
Right.
But is it on the water? Can they see that?
Yeah, it is on the water also. It'll say that there's dangerous rapids ahead to take out here. So there is a sign that's going to let you know that you would only go that 3.9 miles from the Carson River Park.
Yeah, I saw an insurance sign. It's kind of like the airport in the old days.
Yeah.
You're gonna make 10 grand the hard way for your family. It was fun though.
Yeah.
And you were having a blast. It was fun.
Oh,
I had
it
one
is.
picture of you like, "What?" You were like yelling to you.
Yeah, it's hard to hear on the river.
Slow down. What? Because you're like, and we couldn't catch up with the Jeep, so we had to slow down. We had to make her park because she was just burning. And we'll show you some footage of that. It was that was an incredible little spot. Now I know when you're rafting these rivers, for some reason someone names these little rapids.
Right.
Who's in charge of naming them? Do you just name them what you think they're called? Because someone said that the rapids you went down yesterday, there's a particular little fork or little spot that it's called something.
Right, it's the Trainwreck Rapid.
Trainwreck Rapid.
Trainwreck, yeah. And Class 3, and I don't really know how that got its name. I certainly didn't give it to him. I don't know how that came about. So
if I'm sitting in a hotel and just flew in from Michigan and I call you up and say, "Hey, I want to do a train wreck," You'll know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I would know what you're talking about, definitely.
Get out of the casinos and go for a ride.
Right. And on that stretch of river, I usually meet the customers at the takeout, which is at Santa Maria. And then from there, they'll leave their cars there, and I provide a shuttle from the takeout to the put-in.
So Santa
And-
Maria, like the boats and Mayflower and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Okay, so then you go back and...
Right,
okay.
and then we float down the river, and then when we take out, their cars are there. So that seems to work out very
Santa
nice.
Marita's in Carson City still?
It's in Dayton.
It's in Dayton?
Yeah.
And then it's just off of 50 probably, right?
Right, it's right off of 50. It's right before you go into Old Town Dayton. You will see a housing subdivision on the right-hand side, and you drive through there, and you will see the
Is there an
takeout.
aquatic park there too?
Yeah.
Just as good as the one we have at Carson City?
Right. It has a nice picnic area. It has a nice place a parking lot where you can park your trailer and your van or whatever it is you have there.
Well, that was very impressive. Did I hear that Vern said you can bring your horses there too?
I believe you can. Yes.
That's awesome.
It's beautiful. I mean, Lyon County, Carson City did an awesome job putting this together. It's beautiful, gorgeous.
Did they talk to you at all?
As far as?
Rafting?
Yeah, I actually have taken Vern down, and I did take Dan Willis, from the engineer from Lyon County, and I took them all down, and we had a great time on the river.
How about the Chamber of Commerce people?
I have not taken, I don't think I've taken the Chamber of Commerce down.
I'm just curious because I remember the one footage I had from years ago. Some of the city people went, some of the government people I met.
Right.
Like one had took a spill, and he was real happy anyways, regardless of the spill. So it has to be fun. I mean, I was really impressed with how fun that was.
Right, yeah, it's a great trip,
And
really nice.
Also on the aquatic trail, I liked is that a lot of people are going there for lunch. So, like I'm disabled, so I have an air tank and all that kind of stuff. I can just go there, read a book, look outside, and enjoy. I saw ducks and people watching, and I don't know. I just thought it was a good place.
Yeah, it is. The bird watching, picnic area is absolutely gorgeous. Scenery is nice. So, yeah, nice spot.
Well, I was always envious of you, but now that I can join in a little bit, I'm getting there. I'll be on your boat next year.
All right, perfect.
Also, I have. You're now involved with helping people get a hold of kayaks. And some people who've been on the show before, Angler's Edge in Gardnerville has kayaks that you can go and rent.
Right. They'll be in the store, and there will be rentals. Their hard shells sit on top, so they're great for fishing or just they're beginner type entry kayaks. So worry-free, self-bailing, and those will be available for rental through Angler's Edge.
So the quality has to be a certain point. How do you buy your rafts to get a hold of these things? Or do you just make sure they're a certain quality? How do you know?
Yeah, I have my own rafts, and I buy them through River Store, and they're made of really great material, either Hypalon or urethane, and they have multi-chamber. And I think that's something that people should be aware of when they're going on these rivers, is that you need to have good quality rafts with multi-chambers, so that if you happen to have a puncture and it's not as good of a grade of rafts or kayaks, they will puncture and you'll lose all the air out of them, and then you're going to run into trouble. So if you're thinking on doing the rapids, especially the Class 3, you want to have a multi-chambered, either Hypalon or urethane type of craft that you're going down in.
Besides that, the safety gear, you need a helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you need a good life vest.
Yeah.
I mean,
life vest is crucial. I mean, you need at least a Type 3 or a Type 5 life vest if you're going down. And if you're in these Class 3 rapids, at this flow, a Class 5 is probably what you're going to want if you're in your own boat.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Because I saw that when you had someone not jump out, but fall out before, he was well schooled by you. He said all he did was lay on his back and use his feet towards the what's coming up towards him.
Right.
And he didn't seem afraid of the fall at all. And he said, and you guys just scooped him back up, and all he lost was his sunglasses.
Right.
So that was a happy ending. When someone said that, I forget his name, popped out of the water, I went, oh, I don't want to go down and get wet.
Right.
I don't want to get wet, but my control. I don't want to get wet being in the water.
Right, and it's all about your life vest. It's all about your PFD, personal flotation device, and it's got to fit properly. It's got to be the right grade, either 3 or 5, and it has to fit because if someone goes out of the boat and becomes a swimmer, the way we pull them in is by the life vest.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I want to emphasize she's the best safety person I've ever met for the water because I've done
Thank
rafting
you.
before, and it's like, well, you got your bathing suit on.
yeah.
And yesterday when we did the display, you made sure everyone knew about the safety equipment you carry, and then also had your wetsuit on too, and so that's pretty exciting. And you did a great job in those rapids. I took a lot of pictures. I hope people are enjoying them in the background.
Well, thank you. And before any of the rafting trips, we always give about a 15-minute safety talk on what to do if you fall out, how never to stand in moving water over your knees. There's rattlesnakes out there you need to be careful of, aggressive and defensive swimming and when to use those, and just a full-on safety talk on what to do in the event of if you become a swimmer.
So look before you grab a tree.
Yeah, don't grab a tree in the first place. And there's more to that. There are strainers on this river, and you need to be very careful, and you need to know what to do in the event of a strainer. So
Well,
I do cover all that in my safety talks.
I remember from tubing in Florida, they don't grab trees because the water moccasins are under trees. So I don't grab trees at all. I'm afraid of the darn trees.
One time I was going down on the East Fork, and there was a rattlesnake, and it was right in the rapid with us. And you do have to be careful because in these self-bailing boats, snakes are able to come in. So you do want to keep your eye on things like
He's
that.
just doing a little surfing.
Yeah, exactly. And there's
His gal's downstream. Now, besides the Angler's Edge, you have the kayaks there. We said they're in Gardnerville on 395. I know that.
correct.
You also are involved with a lot of school programs. I've seen you with my handicap programs and other handicap programs, and you're involved with that in Reno. But you also have school programs that you do, and I'm quite proud of you about that.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've been working with Douglas, all of Douglas County, and I do a program for the disabled kids. And I take them snowshoeing, I take them on rafts, and I take them on kayaks.
Snowshoeing?
Yeah. And I
Awesome.
also have, for the wheelchair-bound children, I have a adaptable sled that I use so that they can get out and enjoy the snow. And then same with the water program. If they can't do kayaking, I put them in rafts, and they have had a ball. They've absolutely loved it.
Where about do you do the snowshoeing? What part of what area?
Hope Valley?
Hope Valley.
Yeah.
And do you have like a space up there for the winter? or-
I work with Joyce, who has the yurt in Hope Valley, and I work with her directly, and she helps me with the program. And
So if I have like some Cub Scouts or Girl Scouts or some disabled people, I also have a home of seniors up in Tahoe called the Tahoe Senior Plaza. Could we get some of the elderly people to go out and have some fun?
absolutely,
Because
absolutely.
this is a great bunch of people. They went down. I've been donating bread from Russell's Mercantile in Minden, and they got on the bus and I went down to Minden and said thank you. So I would love to get some connections to get them going out and doing some of the things you say.
Absolutely.
Because they're kind of like me. They're kind of housebound, but yet they can give it a go.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
Tahoe
Be
Senior
happy to
Plaza,
help
we're
you.
going to get you wet. I got
All
the
right.
safety person. It's on video. Yeah, I know you. I've seen your swimming pools for training. And what was that entitled? Was that?
That's a water safety program that I did once again for the kids in Douglas County, and I take my inflatable kayaks to the Douglas Swim Center, and they turn on the jets. They have a swimming pool, and they have slides in there, and so they turn on the water jet, so it's like a rapid. It's almost like being in a rapid, and they turn those on, and the kids get to do they do self-rescues and assisted rescues on my equipment, and a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
Pat, time went by way too fast. We're down to the last 30, 40 seconds, so can you give out your website and your phone number, please?
Sure, it's www.greatbasinsports.com, 775-450-3446.
And Great Basin Sports.
Thank you.
Well, you'll love these rapids are pretty intense, so if you have some fun, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.